McMurtry Speirling was the big surprise at this year's Goodwood Festival of Speed. So if you have $1.2 million to spend and want the most track-capable car you can legally drive on the street, you might want to check this out. Welcome back to Refined Wealth. In this video, we are going to give you all the juicy details about the record-breaking hypercar, the McMurtry Speirling. To start, where did this hit car originate? Back in 2016, ex-F1 engineer David McMurtry brought together a group of other ex-F1 engineers to help him build a lightweight electric track car. They were especially interested in technology that had been banned in motorsports. Crazy, right? And since McMurtry had worked on jet engines before, they decided to try out a fan-driven vacuum system. At first, they needed a test vehicle that could fit the vacuum system and measuring equipment, so they wanted a van. But because they wanted to test the system on racetracks, they needed a fast van, so they bought an old ambulance, which was the fastest van they could find. People must have never seen a more strange test car for a new generation of race cars than that one. Surprisingly, the tests went well, and they were able to learn from them. They made the Speirling from the ground up, putting the vacuum system in the middle. Of course, from earlier tests, they know that the vacuum area under the car doesn't need to be very big to make a lot of downforce. In fact, the area beneath that is sealed is only about 1 square meter. To put this into context, the floor space of a GT3 car, on the other hand, is about 9 square meters. They then used ceramic plates as seals, and through 2 fans, the air is sucked out of the space. This is their magic equation. Another thing McMurtry learned from his time in aviation is if all of the car's downforce comes from a fan system, you want more than 1 fan in case one fails. Never underestimate a backup plan. The fans then push the air to the back of the car, where it comes out of small holes in the wake area. This can then give the car a little more power. More power is always better, right? Some of you may be familiar with the sport F1. One of the biggest problems with the Brabham fan car was that it sucked up dirt and rocks from the road and threw them at the cars behind it. To keep that from happening, the Speirling has air filters that need to be cleaned often. So if you want to maintain that speed, make cleaning a habit. The car also needs an active suspension to make a stable aero platform so that the ceiling and, by extension, the fan system can work well. But when you work with a fan car, you also have to get used to its new feature. For its weight limit, there is always a maximum downforce of 2,000 kilograms, which is also why this car only has rear-wheel drive, a real race car energy. Not to forget, it always has a grip, which lets it turn at 3G at any speed and go from 0 to 100 km per hour in 1.4 seconds. Even when it needs to regain energy, it always has so much downforce that it can only do so through the back wheels. Talk about easy handles, right? The next interesting thing about the design is that because the fan system makes all of the downforce, the body of the Speirling was originally made to reduce drag, not downforce like a normal race car, so this just only makes it faster. But did you know that normal race cars get more downforce as their speed goes up by a factor of 2? This meant that, especially in high-speed corners, normal race cars suddenly had more downforce than the Speirling. So, they added a 2-element rear wing that is pushed back at the sides to reduce induced drag and pushed back in the middle because the flow comes from different directions. And what do they do with this wing? They are giving the car some traditional downforce. If you run such a fan car, you don't really need anything else besides that vacuum area under the car. You really need to credit the whole team for their innovation for this vehicle. Furthermore, since it looks so much like the Brabham fan car, it doesn't even need a diffuser, which is another good reason to put the license plate there. Do you agree? As you can probably infer from the concept, the sides of the body are also interesting because they slope down. The air is led straight to the back radiators. You can even see how the dust from the road came out of the 2 holes in the middle and how the wake grew to the side behind the radiator while it drove. Because of the rear wing above, there was some upwash, but not as much as we're used to seeing from GT3 cars. But don't worry, you can turn off the downforce when you don't need it, which is a big plus. This means that these cars have to be made to withstand a lot more force than they need to. It doesn't have to deal with these high, unnecessary forces and can be made lighter. It's being really energy efficient. Did you know that the Speirling houses a self-developed and self-produced U-shaped battery? Yep, it goes under the driver's legs and around the seat. It should be able to go 500 kilometers, which means it should use an average of 12 kilowatt-hour per 100 kilometers. It weighs just under 1,000 kilograms and has 1,000 horsepower of power. When you drive a fan car, it's also interesting to note that any extra ground clearance, like when you drive over a curb, will decrease the ceiling effect and cause a sudden loss of downforce. On the other hand, traditional cars with downforce have to let off the brakes as the car slows down because the downforce is decreasing. This car doesn't have to do that because the downforce never changes. Isn't that cool? Also, the level of downforce from the fan system can be changed at any time. You could even make a traditional downforce that changes with speed if you wanted to. So, the McMurtry Speirling is an interesting machine that took a technology that was banned in motorsports and turned it into an amazing vehicle that also makes the way for future technology. Breaking the record at Goodwood got them the attention they deserve. What do you guys think? Will the McMurtry Speirling maintain its power and improves, or it is its best potential? Comment down your answers below. Don't forget to like this video, and since you're already here, you might as well subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on great new videos. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.